Hi, I'm Mike Oglesby, here to talk about credibility and likability, the very first building block of building trust and credibility, Module 2. Now, in order to earn a potential client's trust, you must become and establish yourself as a likable expert in your field. In order to do this, we must look at 4 steps. Step 1, enhance your professionalism through standard credibility builders. Step 2, uphold 6 specific standards of services in order to maintain your credibility. Step 3, become an expert or a category authority and determine what you want to be known for. And step 4, understand how your likability influences the process of decision making among your potential clients. So let's delve into step 1. Enhance your professionalism with standard credibility builders. Now, this may seem obvious, but without it, you won't be taken seriously. So it's important to take a look at it, and it's worth taking a look at. So let's look at our email address. You want to make sure you have a professional email address, preferably one with your domain name. You don't want cupcake465@gmail.com or something like that, unless that was your business name. But you want a very professional email address for someone to contact you. We also want to take a look at your business cards. Now, there's many different types of business cards out there, and it really is preferable to have someone, maybe a designer, create your business cards, because you want something that stands out and says, hey, I'm different. Oftentimes business cards can be part of your first impression. So you want to make sure that you make the best first impression that you can. So in other words, you don't want cards that have perforated edges, that people can see that you tore these out and made these yourself, and they're flimsy and just very thin paper. You don't want that. You want something that stands out and tells people that you're serious about what you do. You certainly don't want business cards that were printed by some company giving a promotion and letting them put their name on the back of your card. So you really want to make a good first impression with that business card. You also want to have a professional website built. Now, if you don't have a website, you need to get one built now. This is very, very important. But if you built your website yourself and it looks old school, or it came from some free template that just really doesn't stand out and look professional, you need to have another one built. Also, you need to invest in professionally produced photographs. Now, photographers are trained to know what to see and to really express you visually. So it's important to have professional pictures, not you sitting in your swing in the backyard. That really doesn't do anything, and it doesn't say much at all about who you are in this world, unless you build swings. So you really want to take a look at your photographs and make sure that you have some really professional pictures to present yourself. And you want to put them in your website. You want to put them in your marketing materials and your informational materials. And we also want to look at testimonials. You want really specific testimonials. You really want to throw those out there rather than general testimonials. They say a lot more about you and what you do. And also, if you can, establish an advisory board. If you can find others that are credible in your field and they will lend you their names, you will immediately get that credibility because of your association with them. So if it's possible to build an advisory board and get those names out there and link yourself with them, that will greatly increase your credibility very quickly. So let's delve into step 2. Uphold these 6 standards of services to maintain your credibility. Now, the 6 standards of services are quality of service. You want to make sure that you always provide a high quality of service. You always want to use the best methods and tools as well. Responsiveness. You always want to respond quickly and appropriately to your clientele. Uphold expected credentials. This means to always stay trained, to always make sure that you are fully trained and up to date with your credentials. Client importance. It is necessary that you make the client feel and understand that they are important. In fact, they're one of the most important parts of your business. They're the ones who pay you for your services. And you want to make sure that you have the appropriate price, which we'll discuss more in depth in future modules of Book Yourself Solid. Now, these standards of services will not set you apart. They're not designed to set you apart. They are what the consumer will expect from you. So it's important to always keep your services up to par with these 6 standards of services. So let's delve into step 3. Become a category authority and determine what you want to be known for. You truly become an authority or an expert when you learn everything you possibly can about the one thing that you've decided to become known for. You know, for some people, the idea of putting themselves out there in a public way, into the public, in a big, bold way, and allowing themselves to be subject to public scrutiny, really brings up a multitude of insecurities. So people say, do I have to do that? Is that necessary? Well, here's the fact. Like it or not, becoming an expert or an authority in your field really is the only way to ensure that you run the most success out of your business. Without that, you're only going to be so successful. With that, you're going to be extremely successful. You're already going to gain people's trust, and people are going to move toward you because you are the category or a category authority. And that's, it's important to understand there's a difference between a category authority and the category authority. You don't have to be the category authority. The category authority would be someone who created the system in which you're working with, such as the Book Yourself Solid system. It would be Michael Port would be the category authority, and since I've learned it, and since I teach it, and since I utilize that with my clientele, I would be an authority in this field and a category authority rather than the category authority. And being the category authority is not necessary in order to book yourself solid. Being an authority is necessary in order to become booked solid. So let's talk about step 4. Understand how your likability affects and influences the process of decision making among your potential clients. Now, when we make a choice, we go through a 3-step process. First, we listen to something out of a field of opportunities. Then we either believe or don't believe what we've heard. And last, we place a value on what we've heard. Then we make our choice. And likability plays a role in all 3 parts. With so many demands on our attention these days, we must carefully select and filter out what we give our attention to. Your target market and your potential clients must deem your message necessary and relevant enough to sit up and pay attention, to listen to. It has to be important enough to them. And if you're likable, they're much more likely to do that, to pay attention, to listen, and to remember what you've said. Your likability is a critical factor in building and establishing trust. Think of it. You're much more likely to believe and trust someone that you like. And your likability factor has an enormous impact on your perceived value. So develop your credibility and establish yourself as an expert. Strive to be your best, most likable self. And the choice is going to be obvious to your potential clients of who they should hire. So let's talk about likability, how to improve your likability. There are 4 areas in which you can focus on each day in order to increase or improve your likability. The first is friendliness. Be as friendly as possible. Be open-hearted, graceful, respectful, and give others a warm, big smile. Let them know that you're there and that you care. Be real. People respect others who are real with them, who tell them the truth, but always be respectful. Be real with others, but always be respectful in doing so. Empathy. Show that you can understand others' feelings. This is very important on an emotional level. For you to be able to step into someone else's shoes and to see through someone else's eyes and let them know that you understand where they are. And relevance. Be relevant. The more relevant you are, the more compelling and the more popular you will be. At the end of each day, you can assess yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, and you can see how you get better in the 4 areas of likability. You can test yourself on friendliness. You could ask questions such as, how friendly was I today? Could I have been friendlier? How? You can test yourself on realness. How real was I today? Did I feel as authentic and self-expressed as I can be or could have been? Empathy. How empathetic was I today? Could I have been more sensitive? Or was I so empathetic that I forgot my own needs in the process? And relevance. How relevant was I today? Did I provide as much relevant content? Could I have been more valuable? Could I have added more value? So these are just a few tips and tricks on how to increase your likability, which is, again, a critical factor in building that trust and that credibility with your potential clients. Thank you.